ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, we are completing this third shloka, Lokesmin Dvividhanishta. We are reading this last line where Arjuna was, where Shankaracharya was observing that if we give a particular interpretation, then we will be accusing Krishna of being partisan and of being unreliable. That was भिन्नपुरुष स्वयमेव अनुष्ठास्यति इत्येषां तु भिन्नपुरुषानुष्ठेयतां वक्ष्यामि इति मतं भगवतः कल्प्येत तदा रागद्वेषवान् अप्रमाणभूतः भगवान् कल्पितः स्यात्. Ragadveshavan means one who is having raga and dvesha, one who is partisan, one who tells some easy path to somebody and more difficult path to somebody else. That is ragadvesha, that is a sign of partisan behavior. Then apramanabhutaha, whoever is talking in such double tone, he is not somebody who is reliable. So you will be accusing Lord Krishna. Just to recapitulate what exactly is it, we have to go back to the earlier line. Just to recapitulate why, in what condition, say Krishna will stand in that position. That is, we have to read this earlier line. Yadicha, I will read. Yadicha ekena purushena ekasmai purusharthaya. That is the line which was told earlier. That is, if it was Krishna's intention that this samuchaya or combination is not possible in one man at one time. Is it okay? If it is Lord Krishna's intention that samuchaya is not possible for one man at one time, then why will he prescribe this why will he tell Arjuna that these two nishtas are for two different types of people? That is, Arju upasannaya priyaya vishishta bhinna purusha kartruke eva jnana karma nishthe bruyat. Vishishta bhinna purusha kartruke. Vishishta means which is differentiated, distinct, differentiated. Bhinna kartruke. These two things have to be done by two different people. How can Krishna say that? If it was in his mind, if samuchaya were to be in his mind, why will he tell Arjuna that these two are different paths? Or if Krishna presumes that Arjuna himself will do samuchaya and then all other people will do only one path, will follow one path, then in that case you are accusing Krishna of being a partisan person. So that is the background. So let us read the next line. We need not again read all that thing. The next line we will read. Tacha ayuktam. That means accusing Krishna of being partisan and unreliable is something which is not correct. Ayuktam is something which is incorrect. Then tasmat kayapi yuktya na samuchayah jnana karmanoho. Kayapi yuktya, by any stretch of imagination, by any logic. Yukti is logic. Kayapi yuktya means by any logic. That means by any stretch of imagination, you can say, by no stretch of imagination can you say that this jnana and karma can be combined. Jnana karmanoha samuchayah kayapi yuktya na. That is, it is not possible by any type of reasoning, any type of argument, because he has demolished so many types of arguments. So that is it. Next line. Yad arjunena uktam karmanoho jayastvam buddhehe. Not karmanoho, karmano jayastvam buddhehe. Tachya sthitam anirakaranat. Okay, Arjuna has also understood it correctly. So that is why Arjuna said karmanaha jayastvam buddhehe. That is, buddhi is superior to karma. That is what he understood and he also told. So and it is not denied by the Lord. It is not, no, Lord did not say, yeah, no, you have wrongly understood. He did not say, which means that it is the correct version. That is the correct understanding which Arjuna has correctly understood and correctly questioned. He was only wondering as to why this path is prescribed for me. What Krishna said is he understood, but then he was only not able to understand why he is prescribing the path of karma to me. when say I am also eligible for moksha, maybe that was his contention. So that is the point. Yet Arjunena Bhuktam, that is whatever has been told by Arjuna, what was that? Karmano jayasvam buddhehe. Buddhehe jayasvam. That is, buddhi is superior to karma. That is, knowledge is superior to action. Now, the path of knowledge is superior to the path of action. So that thing, tacha sthitam, that stays. Sthitam, that stays. Anirakaranat, because Lord has not rejected it. Lord has not, he has not denied it. There is no denial of that. Next line. Tasyascha jnananishthayah sanyasinameva anushtheyatvam bhinna purushanushtheya vachanat cha. So bhinna purushanushtheya vachanat, because it has been very clearly told by the Lord that these two paths are for two different types of people. Bhinna purushanushtheyatvam I explained in the last class also, but to be followed or to be implemented or to be done by two different types of people. Bhinna purushanushtheyatva vachanat, because Lord has said so. Then tasyasya jnananishthayah sanyasinameva anushtheyatvam. This jnananishta is something which has to be done by sannyasis only, which has to be followed, which has to be practiced by sannyasis only. This jnananishta is only for sannyasis. So that is the meaning here. Next line. Bhagavatah evameva anumatamiti gamyate. Bhagavatah means to the Lord. It is Shashti. Bhagavan, Bhagavatah. Shashti ekavachanam. Bhagavatah, for the Lord also. Evameva anumatam. Evameva, this only, is anumatam. Anumatam is agreeable. Iti gamyate. It follows that, or the total sequence of arguments have led to this conclusion. Gamyate means that is the conclusion. So the sequence of arguments have led to this conclusion that Lord Krishna's opinion is also the same thing. Lord Krishna's, this particular derivation, this particular conclusion is agreeable to Lord Krishna. Abhimatam is agreeable. Anumatam. Next line. Mamcha bandhakarane karmanyeva niyojayasi iti vishanna manasam arjunam karma narabhe ityevam manvanam alakshya aha bhagavan na karmana manarambhat iti. This is the avatarika for say this next shloka. So what is this avatarika? Mamcha bandhakarane karmanyeva niyojayasi. So this is what is it? Arjuna has understood. Literally what has been told by Krishna, it is literally understood by Arjuna. But only in his particular case, he is not able to understand why it is the jnana path is not applicable to him. Why it is not applicable to a particular medicine is not applicable to me, it is applicable to somebody else. So that is the Arjuna's doubt. Mamcha bandhakarane karmanyeva niyojayasi. This karma, Arjuna is opposed to that, maybe for two reasons. One is that he doesn't want to kill his relatives, friends and whatnot. So he is philosophizing the whole issue and then he is saying, okay, this is bandhakaranam. Karma is something which is bandhakaranam. This is of binding in nature. Bandhakaranam is binding in nature. This is the cause for binding. Bandha is same as bind. Bandha and bind are one and the same. Bandhakarane karmani eva niyojayasi. You are putting me in this path. Niyojayasi means you are putting me, you are urging me into this path, you are placing me in this path. Niyojayasi means to appoint somebody in some duty. Niyojanam is appointing somebody in a duty. So you are directing me in this path which is binding in nature. Then iti vishanna manasam arjunam. Iti vishanna manasah. Vishanna manasa means Arjuna Vishada Yogam, we saw the first class. Vishada is what? Vishada is a total state of say depression, say melancholy, whatever you say. He is unable to move, he just collapsed. It is a state of say where he has just broken down. So Vishanna is from the same word Vishada. Vishada, the same word, another form is Vishanna. Vishanna is somebody who is in Vishada. Vishanna Manasaha. So his mind has just broken down. So that person, Vishanna Manasam, Karma na arabhe ityevam manvanam, Karma na arabhe, I will not commence work, or I will not do work, or I will not follow this karma path, I will not follow this path of action. So that is it. Karma na arabhe means I will not follow this path of action. Iti manvanam. So he is thinking like that. So in fact, Arjuna, Lord Krishna is in a way studying the mind of Arjuna. He is studying the mind of Arjuna, and then Arjuna probably he is thinking so okay, this I don't want to follow this path of karma. Karma narabhe ityevam manvanam alakshya, having seen such a person. Alakshya means having seen him. Aha Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is saying like this. What is this? Na karmana manarambhaditi. Let us read this shloka. Na karmana manarambhat naishkarmyam purushoshnute na cha sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhigacchati. Okay, Lord Krishna is saying like this because he was thinking that say karma, Arjuna might think that karma is some bandhakarana, karma is the reason for bondage. So if he is thinking like that, or it is the duty of Krishna to dispel that feeling. Karma may be binding in nature for a foolish person, but if you do karma in an intelligent way, it is not binding in nature. That is what we have seen in the earlier Bhashyam also. And earlier also this yoga, karma sukausalam we are going to get later. That is, karma, the same karma which is binding in nature, if it is done with an ishkama buddhi, if it is done according to the divine scheme, divine order, divine design, then as an order from the Lord, then it is not binding in nature. That is what of course he is going to say. So Arjuna, if at all he feels that karma is of binding nature, it is the duty of Krishna to dispel that doubt. So he is saying like this, na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushoshnute. Karmanam anarambhat, by totally refraining from karma, by totally avoiding all this karma. Karma means it is ritual at one level. Say whatever has been ordained, whatever has been enjoined on a person as a member of a particular say ashrama and a particular varna, there are so many duties which are enjoined on various people. So all these duties, they are required. If these duties are not required, there is no world order, there is no social order. So there is so much of the karmas are very much necessary in a society, otherwise the society will not run. So for this purpose, say he has to tell the importance. Only a few people can take that jnana paths. So that is why karma narabhetya manvanamalasya aha bhagavan na karmana manarambhat naishkarmyam purushaha ashnute. Karmana manarambhat, by not say starting karma, or by not following the path of karma, or simply by not following karma, naishkarmyam purushaha na ashnute. Naishkarmyam means a state of actionlessness, if we can say that, actionless state. What is that naishkarmyam? Naishkarmyam is an important word. Naishkarmyam, in fact, there is a book by Sureshwaracharya called Naishkarmya Siddhi. Naishkarmya Siddhi. Naishkarmyam is, that is a state where this action, whatever karma you do, it does not affect you, it does not taint you. That is Naishkarmya Siddhi. Naishkarmya Siddhi is that jnani, is a state of that jnani, where he is totally free from the result of any karma. In fact, the Naishkarmya Siddhi is an important book in Advaita Vedanta. There are 4 books which have that name Siddhi. That is, one is called Ishta Siddhi, another is called Brahma Siddhi, another is called Naishkarmya Siddhi, and the other is last one is called Advaita Siddhi. Advaita Siddhi, these 4 are called Siddhi Chatushtayam. Siddhi Chatushtayam is, there are 4 granthas which end with the name Siddhi. Ishta Siddhi, Brahma Siddhi, Naishkarmya Siddhi, and Advaita Siddhi. Advaita Siddhi of Madhusudana Saraswati, who is also one of the commentators here. Madhusudana Saraswati, now and then I am just referring to him. This Madhusudana Saraswati's Advaita Siddhi is supposed to be the toughest text. That is the latest text and also the toughest text. So this Siddhi Granthas, out of the 4 Siddhi Granthas, in fact Naishkarmya Siddhi of Sureshwaracharya is slightly easy. The other 2 Granthas are also fairly tough. So this Siddhi Chatushtaya, in fact, there are not many people who can teach this Advaita Siddhi. Very, very rarely, very, very few people can teach this Siddhi Grantha. So anyway, this Naishkarmyam is that actionless state, which means Nis plus Karma. Karma is, we know, action. Naishkarmya means karma, where that karma has disappeared. That is that Naishkarmyam. Karmanam abhavaha, Naishkarmyam. So that state of actionlessness, when does a man attain? Either he has to be a jnani and then he has to totally avoid action, or he is a jnani and he is doing some action, like King Janaka, say some other, say King Rama and Krishna himself. He is a jnani and then he is still doing some action. So he is in the state of Naishkarmya, though he is apparently doing some action. So that is called karma abhasa. It is only apparently an action, but not an action. So that sort of siddhi a man will not attain, you and I will not attain, by simply not commencing work, by simply not commencing, say, one's ordained duty. So that is the meaning. The logic here is, by merely avoiding karma, you cannot attain moksha. Why? Because we have seen the earlier theories also, earlier thing. The karma means not only this karma of this janma, there is a karma of the previous janmas, previous births, so which is called the sanchita karma. So what will happen to that sanchita karma? Suppose you say today, I will stop doing work, I will stop doing all my whatever work has been ordained to me. What about the sanchita karma, the good or bad deeds which you have done in the earlier life? They will follow, they will continue to give result. So that is the reason. And moreover, another point is, you are sitting here saying, I have left karma. So which means, what is it? That feeling of I is very much there. That kartrutva bhavana is very much there. I have left karma. So that means that karma has not dropped off from you because of jnana. If you are a jnani, karma naturally drops off. You need not drop it. If you are deliberately dropping, saying I am dropping karma, you are there. That I feeling is there. So long as there is that kartrutva bhavana, you are not a jnani. So if you are not a jnani, that there is no question of naishkarmyam. So these are the logics. This is basically the logic. So that is what Krishna is saying. Na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushaha ashnute. Ashnute means attains. Ashnute. Because purushaha, here purusha means it does not refer to a jnani. This shloka, it refers to an ajnani only. It refers to people like us, not jnanis. So karma, then the next line says, Nacha sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhigachyati. Nacha sanyasanadeva, by merely renouncing work. Sanyasanat eva. Lord Krishna is not simply saying, Na sanyasanat siddhim samadhigachyati, which means by renouncing he will not attain siddhi. He is not saying by merely renouncing. He is adding that word eva. Sanyasanat eva. By merely renouncing, he will not attain siddhi. When I say, by merely doing this, you will not attain this. What does it mean? You have to do something more. In addition to doing this, you have to do something more. By merely doing this, by merely going to class, you will not pass the exam, I say. Which means, you have to go, sit in the class, and also sit attentively, read well, and then only you will pass. So like that, nacha sanyasanat eva, by merely sannyasa, siddhim na samadhi gacchati. So this is the general meaning of the shloka. The words are, let us see, na karmanam, breaking of words, karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushaha ashnute. Purushaha means every man, it refers to every man. And then what type of man is he? He is an ajnani. This shloka is not referring to a jnani. Then the second line is also elaborating it. Second line is elaborating, na cha sanyasanat eva. Eva is by merely sannyasa. Siddhim na samadhi gacchati. This na has to be associated with samadhi gacchati. Siddhim na samadhi gacchati. He is not going to attain that siddhi. Siddhi means, what is that siddhi? But word siddhi also is there. Both words are used here. Naishkarmya is also used, siddhi also is used here. And in fact, Naishkarmya siddhim paramam, that word also is going to come in 18th adhyaya. So siddhi means that attainment. We know this word sadhana. What is sadhanam? Sadhanam is a tool or an implement or some process, let us say. what is this? Means, let us say, means. Then sadhyam is whatever has been attained. That is means and ends. Sadhana and sadhya. Then siddhi is that state of attainment. Siddhi is that state of attainment. Sadhanam, sadhyam and siddhi, same root. Sadha. Then siddhi is something which is that state of attainment. This state of attainment, that naishkarmya siddhi, he will not samadhi gacchati, he will not get or attain. Let us see Shankaracharya's words. Aha Bhagavan na karmanam narambhaditi. So Shankaracharya, he is also giving another alternative reasoning for giving say this shloka, that is athava jnana karmanishtayoho परस्पर विरोधात् एकेन पुरुषेण युगपद अनुष्ठानम् अशक्यत्वे सति अनुष्ठातुम् अशक्यत्वे सति इतरेतर अनपेक्षयोरेव पुरुषार्थ हेतुत्वे प्राप्ते कर्मनिष्ठाया okay, purushartha hetutve prapte. Let us stop there and then take the next portion of the sentence later. Athava jnana karmanishtayoho paraspara virodhat ekena purushena yugapad anushthanam ashakyatve sati itaretaraanapekshayoreva purushartha hetutve prapte. So we know that there are two paths, and these two paths are incompatible at one time in one person. So that we know. Then both are, one can imagine or one can visualize or one can go to a wrong conclusion. That both are independent paths and both will independently attain moksha. So one can go to a false conclusion. So that is what he is referring to here. There are two paths, of course, which are incompatible at one person at the same time. But then one man, say somebody may go to a wrong conclusion because both the paths have been mentioned in the Veda. These both paths will lead to the same result. So that is a wrong conclusion. It is not acceptable. So in order to clarify that, Krishna is going to say. That is the reason given by Shankaracharya for explaining this shloka. Athava jnana karmanishtayoho paraspara virodhat. Because jnana nishtha and karma nishtha are paraspara virodha, that is mutually opposed. Paraspara virodha is mutually opposed, mutually contradicting. Then ekena purushena yugapad anushtatum ashakyatve sati. Ekena purushena, by one man, yugapat means at the same time, together. Anushtatum ashakyatve sati. So it is difficult to say perform both the things, perform the path of action and also the path of knowledge at the same time. Ashakyatve sati itaretara anapekshayoreva. Somebody may wrongly think, somebody may come to a wrong conclusion that itaretara anapekshayoreva, that is independently, not depending on each other. Itaretara anapekshayoreva means not depending on each other. Itaretara anapeksha, apeksha is dependence. Anapekshayoho itaretara anapekshayoreva means not depending on each other. Then somebody may think that purushartha hetutve prapte. He may think that purushartha hetu. Each path is purushartha hetu. Jnananishta also is purushartha hetu. Karmanishta also is purushartha hetu. Is this line clear? Yes. Because the sentence construction is rather it is difficult for us to follow. That is, somebody may go to a wrong conclusion that because both the paths have been told by the Veda, you can follow any path. So that is possible. It is possible for a person to come to a wrong conclusion. In order to clarify this, he wants to make some gradation. Lord Krishna wants to make some gradation. So this path will only lead to this particular destination. So from that destination, you have to go take up the other path in order to attain that siddhi. You can't go to America only by train. You have to go to up to Mumbai or some such place you can go, and then you have to take a flight. So something like that. So you have to follow these two paths. There is a gradation in this. That is what he is going to say. Karmanishtayaha ज्ञाननिष्ठा प्राप्ति हेतुत्वेन
ज्ञाननिष्ठा प्राप्ति हेतुत्वेन
पुरुषार्थ हेतुत्वं
पुरुषार्थ हेतुत्वं
न स्वातंत्र्येण
न स्वातंत्र्येण
ज्ञाननिष्ठा तु
ज्ञाननिष्ठा तु
so I will stop with that na swatantrena. So he is clarifying कर्मनिष्ठायाः ज्ञाननिष्ठा प्राप्ति हेतुत्वेन पुरुषार्थ हेतुत्वं. Purushartha hetuttvam means that status of being the cause for purushartha. Hetu is cause. Hetutvam is the state of being, the status of being the cause. Purushartha hetutvam means the status of being the cause for that moksha. Purushartha here refers to moksha. Then karmanishta jnana, how can it be purushartha hetu? Jnananishta prapti hetutvena. Karmanishta will only lead to jnananishta. Because karmanishta, we know that karma, by doing all these rituals, whatever has been ordained, or by performing all these rituals over a period of time, because these rituals involve a lot of self-discipline, involves some purity in action. So all these things, as Akhandananda Saraswati was saying, it is something like a detergent. Karma is something like a detergent which washes all our, say, erratic behavior. So by washing off all the erratic behavior and putting a man in the path of, in a righteous path, then it is enabling a person to attain that jnananishta. Jnananishta prapti hetutvena purushartha hetutvam. So this is only a train, this particular train or bus is only leading up to Mumbai. So from there you have to go to that jnananishta. So that is it. So karmanishthayaha katham purushartha hetutvam jnananishta prapti hetutvena purushartha hetutvam. Only by being the cause for jnananishta. That karmanishta is only the purushartha hetutvam. In what sense? Jnananishta prapti hetutvena. It is only hetu or cause for jnananishta, for attaining jnananishta, and not say directly siddhi. It will not directly lead you to moksha. So karmanishta, what he is saying is karmanishta is a sadhana, and then it is only leading you to jnananishta, whereas jnananishta is directly leading to moksha. Jnananishta is something which is directly connected to moksha. Karmanishta is leading to a particular place from where you have to go in a different path. So that is it. Jnananishta means what? Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, that introspection, that speculation, that contemplation on Brahman. So that is what is the picture here. Then, na swatantrena, that is also saying, not independently. Then, jnana nishtha karmanishtopaya labdhatmika sati swatantrena purushartha hetuhu anya anapeksha इत्येतमर्थं दर्शयिष्यन् आह भगवान्. Okay, jnana nishtha tu. We know what is this tu. Tu means on the other hand. So he has spoken about karma nishtha. Karma nishtha can only lead you up to this point. On the other hand, jnana nishtha tu. That tu is on the other hand. And this karma jnana nishtha, what will it do? Karmanishtopaya labdhatmika sati. That is, having come into existence because of karmanishtha. Having come into existence, labdhatmika, that is, it obtained its existence. It attained its existence because of karmanishtha. For an ordinary man, he is saying for an ordinary man, suddenly you can't get into jnananishta unless there is some self-discipline. And this self-discipline is induced over a period of time by, it is something like a drill in an army. So you have to undergo some drill in order to do it perfectly. So over a period of time, it induces some sort of, it instills, say, not induces, it instills a sort of discipline in a person. So only after that, you will be able to attain something more. So karmanishtopaya labdhatmika sati means it attains its existence because karmanishta upaya. Karmanishta is the upaya, that is the strategy. Upaya, we know, you tell me one upayam, we say upaya is a strategy. Karmanishta is a strategy, and by that strategy it has come into existence. What? Jnananishta. Jnananishta has come into existence through the strategy of karmanishta. Let us say like that. Jnananishta has come into existence through the strategy of karmanishta. Karmanishtopaya labdhatmika sati Swatantriyena Purushartha Hetuhu. So independently it is the cause for Purushartha. Jnananishta is independently cause for attaining moksha, whereas Karmanishta is not independently cause for moksha. So here there is another word used here, upaya. So Karmanishta is, you can call it sadhana, you can call it upaya, you can call it hetu. Hetu is cause. So all are one and the same. Sadhana is an implement, upaya is a strategy, hetu is a cause, and then it is not independently leading to moksha. Whereas Jnananishta is what is the opposite of upaya? Upaya is strategy. Upeya is not opposite, but what you attain by upaya is upeya. You attain by it. Then what you attain by sadhana is sadhyam. Then what you attain by hetu is phalam. Hetu and phala. So these words not very important, but then better to know. Then this is independently swatantrena purushartha hetu. Is it okay?
Yes.
Purushartha hetu anya anapeksha. What is this anya anapeksha? It is not dependent on anything else. Apeksha, as I said, dependence. Anya anapeksha, it is not dependent on anything else. Jnananishta is not dependent on anything else for attaining moksha. Ityetamartham darshayishyan aha Bhagavan. In order to demonstrate this meaning, in order to demonstrate this fact, ityetamartham. Ityetamartham is this particular message. Darshayishyan, in order to demonstrate, in order to show, in order to project before you, this Lord is going to say like this. What is that? Na karmana manarambhat aprarambhat karmanam kriyanam yajnadinam iha janmani janmantareva anushtitanam upatta duritachaya hetutvena sattva shuddhi karananam tat karanatvena cha ज्ञानोत्पत्ति द्वारेण ज्ञाननिष्ठा हेतूनाम. I think we can stop here because it has become too long. Jnananishta hetunam, let us say. So he is describing what are all the virtues of this karmanishta. All the virtues of this karmanishta are described here. What are they? Na karmana anarambhat. He is explaining what is anarambhat. Anarambhat is aprarambhat. By not commencing or by not following this path of action. Aprarambhat. Karmanam. What are those karmas? Kriyanam. Karma is action. What is that action? Action means anything, whatever has been, whatever is the prescribed activity. Prescribed, Veda prescribes dharma, the dharma texts, they also prescribe lot many activities. All those things like yajna, yajnadinam, yajna, etc. In that etc., yajnam, danam, tapaha, shaucham, all these things, they are all included in that. Yajna includes a lot of social interaction, a lot of helping of poor. There are what are called Panchamahayajnas, which a householder has to do every day. These Panchamahayajnas include Atithi Yajna, Deva Yajna, Pitru Yajna, Bhuta Yajna. Atithi Yajna is you have to feed whoever is the guest, whoever is the poor. In fact, in olden days, it is a fact. In olden days, say about 100 years ago, olden days means not even very very olden days, my own great grandfather's time, it was the practice to just once the food is cooked, it is the practice to see whether there is any stranger in the village, any new person, any atithi has come to the village, any Brahmin is waiting outside for food, any guest has come, just to see, inquire, and then if there is nobody, then only you have to take food. You have to see, go out, and then in fact there was a ritual also. They had to go out and then say, is there any newcomer here waiting for food? Then if there is no newcomer, no guest who has come from any outside place, then this man and his wife, his family members, they are supposed to eat. Till that time they are not supposed to eat. This was a fact. This is the actual thing which was happening in India. So anyway, the yajnam danam, that is atithi yajna. Then what is called bhuta yajna? Bhuta yajna means giving food to the animals. Bhuta yajna is compulsory, atithi yajna is compulsory, deva yajna, pitru yajna, these are the things which were compulsory things. So all these things involve a lot of social interaction, a lot of social helping each other. So all these things, they are very necessary for a social order, for social, smooth functioning of the society. So then, yajnadinam, so that is why he is saying yajna, etc. Iha janmani janmantareva anushtitanam. Iha janmani, in this janma, or janmantare. Janmantare means not in the future janma. Future janma has not come. In the previous janmas. Whatever has been done in the previous janmas. Anushtitanam. So this word janmantare is used to explain some special cases. In fact, one commentator Bellamkonda Ramaraya Kavi, he has given this point. There are some special cases like Shuka, Vamadeva, there are many other, and there are some other rishis. By birth, they were jnanis. Jadabharata, the case of Jadabharata in Mahabhagavatam. So like that, there we see some say stories or some the stories of some people, some rishis. By birth, they were jnanis. How did it happen? That is because of the Janmantara karma. Janmantara, he has exhausted all the things, and maybe by that time he died. And then in the next janma, by the time he was born a jnani. So that is how it was explained. So iha janmani janmantareva anushtitanam. So he has done all that exhaustion of karma has taken place in the previous birth. Then anushtitanam upatta durita kshaya hetutvena. Upatta. What is this upatta? Upatta is whatever has been collected, whatever has been stored. Every day in our Sandhyavandan also we say Mama Upatta Durita Kshaya Dwara Sri Parameshwara Prityartham. Mama Upatta Durita Kshaya. Upatta, that is whatever bad deeds might have been done in the previous births. So all that thing, it has to be Kshaya, that is it has to be nullified. It has to say go away. It has to be destroyed. So for that person, for that reason I am doing this Brahma Karma Samarabhe. I am doing this Brahma Karma. For this Upanayanam, Sandhyavandanam is called Brahma Karma because you are doing that Upasana in that fashion. That is a sort of Brahma Upasana only. So then, Iha Janmani Janmantareva Anushtitanam Upatta Durita Kshaya. Duritam is sin. Durita is papam. Papam is whatever ill demerit which is accrued because of some bad deed. All those things have to be washed off. So how? That is because by this yajna, adi, all our good deeds now have to wash off all those things. There is a saying, there is a smriti which says, Punyena papam apanudati. By the bad deeds which you do, they can be destroyed by the good deeds. Punyena papam apanudati. By doing some punya, you can destroy or you can nullify all the bad deeds. But then, the say what is this? The bad say the bad deeds will not nullify the punya. There is some punya which you have done. The punya will destroy papam, but papam will not destroy punyam. Suppose you have done some punyam. After doing some punyam, you also do some papam. So this papam is not going to destroy that punyam. That punyam will still be there. So that is our logic. Maybe this is to encourage somebody to do punyam. Suppose you have done some punyam, there is a hope that at any time you can relapse to this good nature. So you should not feel anyway I have become a papi, let me continue as a papi. So it's not like that. Maybe in order to encourage this punya behavior or a dharmic behavior or a righteous behavior in society, our people have said punyena papam apanudati. So by doing punya, you can eradicate or you can nullify this papam. So, but then papam is not going to nullify punya. So that is the structure. So, upatta durita kshaya hetutvena sattva shuddhi karananam. So this karma is something which is leading to sattva shuddhi. Sattva is antahkarana. Antahkarana is the mind. The mind has to be purified. Unless the mind is purified, you are not becoming eligible to understand about that, say that Shravana, Manana, etc. The Shravana, Manana, they are telling certain things about this Brahma Tattvam and whatnot. Then, unless your mind is totally pure, unless your mind is totally free from Raga, Dvesha and whatnot, you are not in a position to receive. So that is the thing here. Sattva Shuddhi Karananam Tatkaranattvena cha Jnanotpattidvarena Tatkaranattvena. Because of that reason. Tatkaranattvena means because of that reason. Jnanotpattidvarena Jnana Nishtha Hetunam. So because of that reason, Jnanotpatti, Jnana or wisdom dawns on such man. Wisdom dawns on such man and then jnana nishtha hetu. So he will be in that status of jnana, he will be in that state of wisdom, he will be in that state of knowledge, he will be in that state of Brahman. Gradually that nishtha leads to that state of Brahman awareness. He is in that state of Brahma consciousness. So that is it. Jnana nishtha hetunam. So he has given a long list of virtues. The process rather, not list of virtues, it is a process. It is a process of purification. Then jnana utpadyate pumsam.
ज्ञानम् उत्पद्यते
Pumsam
पुंसां
क्षयात् पापस्य कर्मणः
क्षयात् पापस्य कर्मणः
यथा आदर्शतलप्रख्ये
यथा आदर्शतलप्रख्ये
पश्यत्यात्मानमात्मनि.
पश्यत्यात्मानमात्मनि.
This quotation, where is this from? Your book must be giving. Shanti Parva. Okay. Yeah, Shanti Parva. So this Shanti Parva is given. Shanti Parva means Shanti Parva of Mahabharata. It is one of the big portions of Mahabharata, one of the large parvas of Mahabharata. So it says, Jnanam utpadyate pumsam kshayat papasya karmanah. Papasya karmanah kshayat. By only, it is only when all these papa karmas, all this sin declines or perishes. Kshaya, what is Kshaya? Kshaya is just declining and perishing. When this papa perishes, when this papam perishes, that is when this sin, accumulated sin, whatever it is, it perishes. By what? That is by punya karma. By punya karma, this this papa karma perishes. Only then, jnana utpadyate pumsam. Pumsam means for human beings. Puman. Puman means man. Puman means man. Pumsam means for men. Men, it does not mean only men, it means women also, for human beings. We have to say generally human beings. For human beings, jnana utpadyate, wisdom dawns, or jnana arises only when with the perishing of shayat papasya, with the perishing of this bad karma. Then yatha adarsya tala prakhye. Yatha adarsya tala prakhye has to be split. Yatha adarsya, that word has to be split. Yatha adarsya. Yatha plus adarsya becomes yatha adarsya. Adarsha means, what is Adarsha? In Telugu we use the word in the wrong way. Adarsha means we say ideal. Oh, this gentleman is Adarsha Purusha. So Adarsha is something, he is an ideal. But Adarsha actually means, in Sanskrit Adarsha means a mirror. Adarsha Tala, the plane of a mirror. Tala means plane. Adarsha Tala Prakhye. In that light of that Adarsha Tala, that is that thing, on the plane of that mirror, Yatha adarsya tala prakhye pashyati atmanam atmani. So one sees one's own self. Atmanam atmani. One sees one's own self in that, say, adarsya tala, in that mirror. One sees one's own mirror, one's own self in that mirror only when the mirror is clean. When the mirror is not clean, you can't see yourself. So that is why Atmanam, that is how Atmanam Atmani drashtum shaknoti. That is, he can see that Atman, that Brahman itself in him. At a different level we can say, he can see that Brahman in himself when his mind is very clear. When his antahkarana is clear, he can see that Brahman in himself. So that is it. Then Ityadi Smaranat. Smaranat means Smriti. Smaranat, whenever you see Shrutescha, Shrutehe means it is mentioned in the Shruti because of the Shruti. Smaranat means because it is mentioned in the Smriti. It is Smaranat. We have to read this. It is Smaranat.
It is Smaranat.
Anarambhat.
Anarambhat.
Ananushthanat.
Ananushthanat.
Naishkarmyam Nishkarma Bhavam.
Naishkarmyam Nishkarma Bhavam.
Karma Shunyatam.
Karma Shunyatam.
Jnana Yogena Nishtham.
Jnana Yogena Nishtham.
Nishkriyatma Swarupena Avasthanam.
Nishkriyatma Swarupenaiva
Avasthanam. Iti yavat.
Iti yavat.
So because of this Smriti, because of the saying in this Smriti, Smriti, which Smriti? Bharatam. He is referring to Bharatam as Smriti. Bharatam, of which Bhagavad Gita is also a part of Bharatam and Mahabharata only. So that is why Gita is referred to as Smriti. The whole of Mahabharata is also referred to as Smriti. So it is Smaranat. Anarambhat. He is going to that word. Na karmanam anarambhat. He has not yet explained. He has only explained the word karmanam. Only that word karmanam he explained by this long sentence. Yajnadinam iha janmane janmantareva anushtita upata durtakshaya. All those things refer to only one word. karma. Now he is explaining the word anarambhat. Anarambhat means ananushtanat, by not implementing, by not following that karma path. Naishkarmyam nishkarma bhavam. Karma shunyata, that is freedom from karma. Naishkarmyam is freedom from karma. Karma is binding, and when is that freedom from karma? Only when you are a jnani. So karma shunyatam jnana yogena nishtham. He is explaining that thing, jnana yogena nishtha. That stability in that jnana path. Stability or says nishtha. Yeah, that stability only is, we can say like that. Nishkriyatma swarupena iva avasthanamiti yavat. Nishkriya atma swarupena iva avasthanam. We know that the nature of Atman, the nature of Brahman is nishkriya. Nishkriya is, it is actionless. We are aware of this Saguna Brahma and we are aware of the Nirguna Brahma. Saguna Brahma is something which you can either have a akara or a nirakara also. There are three levels I have always been, I have told 3-4 times. There is a Saguna stage. Saguna stage is the God with form, a God with a shape, and a God with some functions. There is a shape, there is a God with some appearance and some functions. At a slightly different level, there is a God who has no appearance, nirakara, there is no akara, but he still has some functions. He still punishes the bad, rewards the good, and in some places he rewards his own people, and he punishes the other people. So that is what, in fact, the Western religions say that. Western religions say this God only protects this particular tribe, and then he draws all sorts of diseases on the other tribe, and then or sometimes he rains stones and whatnot. At least in our case, we don't say that. We don't say that Lord Vishnu rains stones on Shiva followers, or Shiva does the same in the case of Vishnu's followers. We never see any such book here. But then the other religions, they do say like that. So that is the second level, nirakara, but at the same time function. There are some functions. Akara and functions. Nirakara, that shapeless, but then there are some functions. But Upanishad is talking about nirakara and nirguna. There is no question of akara, there is no question of visualizing any particular shape. And then nirguna, it has no action, functionless also. It has nothing to do even with creation. Even this creation is attributable to something, some emergence of Maya, a particular Shakti which has emerged in that consciousness, and that energy which is energy or Shakti which is emerging out of that consciousness is responsible for this creation of the creation or appearance of this universe. We don't even say Mandukya Upanishad, it does not even say creation, it says appearance. So that is the picture here. So karma shunyatam nishkriyatma swarupena iva avasthanam. So a person who is jnani, he is in that state. He is in that state of nishkriyatma swarupa. He is in that state of actionless Brahman. So that is it. Iti yavat means, it means that. Iti yavat. All this means that. Purushaha na ashnute na prapnoti ityarthaha. Purusha means every man. Purusha means every man. Na ashnute na prapnoti. Purusha means here we are only referring to an ajnani and not a jnani. Then karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam na ashnute iti vachanat tad viparyayat tesham arambhat naishkarmyam ashnute iti gamyate kasmat punah karanat karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam na ashnute iti. So there is another possibility of reaching a wrong conclusion by this sentence. Na karmana manarambhat naishkarmyam purushosnute. Suppose I say, by not doing karma, you will not attain naishkarmyam. When I simply say this, what does it mean? By not doing karma, you will not attain this. Which means, if you do karma, you will attain this. So that is a wrong conclusion which he is explaining here, and then which he is saying it is not correct. He is going to explain further. So, what is this? Karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam na ashnute iti vachanat. Because it has been said that by not doing karma, you will not attain that actionlessness. By not doing action, you will not attain actionlessness state. So, when you say that iti vachanat, viparyayat, So conversely, viparyayat means conversely, tesham arambhat naishkarmyam asnuta iti gamyate. So by starting action, naishkarmya will come. Is this line clear?
Yeah.
By not doing karma, you will not attain that. By not studying, you will not pass the exam. Then by studying, you will pass the exam. Something like that. So by doing karma, you will attain naishkarmyam. By not doing karma, you will not attain naishkarmyam. By doing karma, you will attain naishkarmyam. So that sort of wrong conclusion we are likely to get. Is it okay? Then naishkarmya vasnate iti gamyate means it follows. Kasmat punah karanat karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam nasnute. Then for what reason? How can you say that by not doing karma, he will not attain moksha, he will not attain naishkarmyam? Uchyate. Uchyate means it is being replied. Uchyate
Uchyate
karmarambhasyaiva
karmarambhasyaiva
naishkarmya upayatvat
naishkarmya upayatvat
nahi upayamantarena
nahi upayamantarena
upeya praptirasti.
upeya praptirasti.
So Shankaracharya is explaining karma is an upaya. Karma is a strategy. Karmarambhasyaiva naishkarmya upayatvat. Karmarambha, that is commencement of a karma, commencement of an action which is in accordance with the dharma, in accordance with Veda. That is actually an upaya. It is a strategy for naishkarmyam, for action, for attaining that actionless state. It is an upaya. Then that upaya will lead to one upeya. What is that upeya? Jnana-nishtha. This will lead to some other state, and that from some other state you have to go to some other state. So that karmarambhasyaiva naishkarmya upayatvat, because it is like that. The situation is like that. Nahi upayamantarena upaya praptirasti. Upayamantarena means without an upaya, without a strategy, that upeya will not be attained. Without a strategy, you are not going to attain that upeya. Upeya means what? That which we have to attain by upaya. What you can attain by upaya is an upeya. So next line, karma yogopayatvam cha
कर्मयोगोपायत्वं च
नैष्कर्म्य लक्षणस्य
नैष्कर्म्यलक्षणस्य
ज्ञानयोगस्य
ज्ञानयोगस्य
श्रुतौ इह च
श्रुतौ इह च
प्रतिपादनात्.
प्रतिपादनात्.
So in Shruti, Shrutau iha cha pratipadanat. In Shruti, that is in Veda, iha cha, even here, and also here, not even here, and also iha cha, and also here. In the Shruti and also here, pratipadana, it has been propounded. What has been propounded? Karma yogopayatvam cha naishkarmya lakshanasya jnana yogasya. That is, karma yoga is an upaya for this jnana yoga, which is characterized by this naishkarmyam. Karma yoga is an upaya or a strategy for attaining that jnana yoga, which is characterized by that actionless state. Is it okay? So naishkarmya lakshanasya. Naishkarmya lakshanasya means it is characterized. What is that? Jnana yoga is characterized by this status of being nishkarma, naishkarmyam. Naishkarmyam is that actionlessness. Jnana yogasya shrutau iha cha pratipadanat. Shrutau tavat
श्रुतौ तावत्
prakrutasya atmalokasya
प्रकृतस्य आत्मलोकस्य
vedyasya vedanopayattvena
वेद्यस्य वेदनोपायत्वेन
tametam vedanuvachanena
तमेतं वेदानुवचनेन
brahmana vividishanti yajnena
ब्राह्मणा विविदिशन्ति यज्ञेन
ityadina
इत्यादिना
karmayogasya
कर्मयोगस्य
ज्ञानयोगोपायत्वं
ज्ञानयोगोपायत्वं
pratipaditam.
प्रतिपादितं.
Shrutau tavat means, okay, in the context, with reference, when you talk about Shruti, Shrutau tavat. So when you talk about Shruti, the idiom is Shrutau tavatu yavatu. This idiomatically, if you want to translate, if you talk about Shruti, Shrutau tavat, if you talk of Shruti, what has been told? Prakrutasya atmalokasya vedyasya vedanopayatvena. Shruti in that particular context, Prakrutasya in that particular context, Atmaloka is being described. Atmaloka is same as Brahma. Atma is Brahma. Atma and Brahma, they are equivalent terms. Atmaloka, the discussion is about what is Atma, and that is that Atmalokasya Vedyasya, that is what is Vedyam. Vedyam is that which has to be known. It is something, it is not a place where this movement is there. That Gantru Gamana Bhavam is not there. Gantru Gamana Bhavam is, I am going to Delhi. So I am the person who is a Ganta, who goes. Gamyam is Delhi. Ganta, Gamyam. Gantru Gamanam, the process of Gamanam is there. But in Brahma, in the case of Brahma or Atma, it is a question of knowing, Vedyam. Vedanopayam. Vedanam is knowing, the process of knowing. And there is a strategy, there is an upaya for that thing. What is that? Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is the upaya. It cleans the mind, so it enables you. So it is something like equipping you properly for that mountaineering. If you want to do some mountaineering, you have to properly equip yourself, carry some oxygen cylinders and whatnot, and then go. So it is something like that. This Karma Yoga is enabling you to do all that. So Karma Yogopayatvam cha, Shrutau tavat prakrutasya atmalokasya Vedyasya Vedanopayatvena. Vedyam, we know. Vedyam is that which has to be known. Vedana upaya, that is strategy to know. So this is Karma Yoga is proposed as a strategy to know that which has to be known ultimately. That which is Brahman, that Brahman which is supposed to be ultimately known. Is it clear? Vedyasya Vedanopayatvena. What is the Shruti saying? Tam etam vedanuvachanena brahmana vividishanti yajnena. Tam etam. Etam means etam atmanam. This particular atma. Vedanuvachanena. By the authority of this Veda. Veda anuvachanena. By the authority of the Veda. Brahmanaha vividishanti. Brahmanaha means those who are in the path of Brahman. Brahmana is one who is in the path of the Brahmajnana. Brahmajnanena Brahmana. Brahmana is not referring to a caste here. Again, we have to carefully keep in mind, Brahmana is not referring to a caste here. It is referring to the people who are in that Jnana path, Brahmajnana path. So these Brahmajnanis, Vividishanti. So the word is very carefully used here. Vividisha. Only 4 minutes. Okay. The word is carefully used here. Vividisha. So it is not saying, Shruti is not saying this yajnena straight away by this yajnena danena tapasana shakena, that is the full line there. The tametam vedanuvachanena brahmana vividishanti yajnena danena tapasana shakena, that is the full line there. Yajna, danam, tapas, all those things have been mentioned there. Yajna, danam, tapas, they have been mentioned. For what? Vividisha. Vividisha is what? Vetum ichha. That is desire to know. So yajna, danam, etc., they are not directly leading to moksha. You have to see this, the use of the significance of this word vividisha. The yajna, danam, etc., they are not directly leading to atma. Tam etam vedanuvachanena. Tam etam atmanam, this Brahman. These Brahmanas, those who are in the path of Brahmajnana, what do? They do some yajna, they do some danam, they do tapas, all these things which are for vividisha, vetum ichha. This is for cleaning up the mind. Vetum ichha comes only when cleaning up, when this mind is cleaned. Antakarana shuddhi is there, when the sattva shuddhi is there. So that is the point here. So it is a upaya. Ultimately what Krishna is saying is, this yajna, danam and all these things, that is the upaya. So that has been mentioned in the Shruti. That is what he told earlier. He is supporting by quoting from the Shruti. Vividishanti yajnana ityadina karma yogasya jnana yoga upayatvam pratipaditam. Pratipaditam means it has been postulated, it has been propounded. What? Karma yogasya jnana yoga upayatvam. Karma yoga is the upaya, jnana yoga is the upeya. So that thing has been propounded or proposed by, advocated by Shruti. Is the time over? 1 or 2 more minutes. Okay, next line we will read. Iha picha sanyasastu mahabaho dukkam aptum ayogataha yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atmashuddhaye yajno danam tapasyaiva pavanani manishinam ityadi pratipadayishyanti. So he says pratipadayishyanti. That means he is going to say, he will be saying. Pratipadayati is, he is proposing. Pratipaditam means it has already been said. Pratipadayishyanti means he is going to say. Pratipadayishyanti, all these things will be told. Pratipadayishyanti. What are all being told? Iha picha. Ihapi means here also. Iha picha means here also. What is mentioned? Sanyasastu mahabaho dukkham aptum ayogataha. O Mahabaho, he is referring to Arjuna. It is in the 5th adhyaya, which we are going to see. But hey Mahabaho means, oh mighty armed man, This sannyasa is something which is difficult to attain without yoga. Yoga means karma yoga. Without this karma yoga, you cannot attain this sannyasa. Without you cannot attain that state of naishkarmya. So this is going to come in 5th chapter, 5th shloka, 5th chapter, 6th adhyaya. Then the next shloka also is from the 5th adhyaya. Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Yoginaha means karma yoginaha. The people who are in that path of karma, they do karma sangam tyaktva, without that sense of I, without the sense of attachment. Atma shuddhaye. See, you have to do karma without action. The society will not run. That is the basic point, is that you have to do karma, but you have to understand the divine order. You have to elevate yourself or edify yourself as far as possible in order to go close to that divine nature. Your nature should be closer to the nature of Brahman. So in that manner we have to conduct ourselves in the society. We have to conduct ourselves as purely as possible, as righteously as possible, so that our behavior is closer to the divine nature. So that is what is the meaning here. So yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So you have to make yourself divine by in your actions, by just as God himself is impartial, just as God himself has no sangha, just as God himself has no raga, dvesha, etc. So likewise, a man has to do karma in this world, atma shuddhaye, for purification. Then only he will attain that ultimate, which is beyond the God which is proposed by religion. So that is it. Sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye, yajñodanam tapasyaiva pavanani manishinam. So yajna, dana, tapas, etc. These are all purificatory things. Pavanani means pavanam is that which purifies. Pavanani means those which purify, plural. Pavanani, manishinam. Manishinam means for human beings, for people. Yajna, dana, tapas, etc. They are all the purifying things. Iti pratipadayishyanti, which he is going to say. We will stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi.